So we'll be reciting prayers together from this book, The Blaze of Non-Verbal Bodhisattvas. You can turn to page 3. And before we start reciting, we start by setting a proper motivation, which consists of 3 parts. And we keep in mind both what to visualize and how to visualize it. So first, the refuge field. Visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and any enlightened beings whom you feel close to in relation to wisdom and unconditional love. And imagine that they're looking at you with immense kindness and unconditional love, just as a parent looks at their only child. The Bodhisattvas field with your 2 kind parents, mother on the left and father on the right, and all the dear sentient beings leaving on the side. And here you are leading them in this practice, looking at them with unconditional love. And the purpose of the practice to manifest the Buddha nature, which is the ultimate source of happiness within us, by removing the 2 mental obscurations, the gross ones, afflictive obscurations, and the subtle ones, cognitive obscurations. Now we start reading together. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is freed of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all leads hearers seeking pacification to complete peace, who through the knowledge of paths causes those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and who through the possession of omniscience helps subduers expound a variety of teachings, the one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata, and protector, to you I make prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays. To you, the Buddha, I make prostrations. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Tathagato Yavata Tesham chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashamanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato havadat tesham chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashamanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato havadat tesham chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashamanaye swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well is taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear light and non-composite, such as the nectar-like Dharma have discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I will retire into the woods. Beyond utterance, thought and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. It is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To the mother of the Buddhas of the three times, I pay obeisance. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, please liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain in Greek teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of aeons. The Buddha does not wash the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view.
What next?
14. Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe-destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O Supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies formed supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme size, face like a spotless stone, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust-free like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparable wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, To the dharma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Page 31, Heart Sutra Mantra. Ayatha gati gati paragati parasangati bodhi swaha 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 gati gati paragati parasangati bodhi swaha. Next page, page 32, 8 verses of mind training.
Okay, so let me make a quick explanation of this 8 verse mind training. This 8 verse mind training, page 32, 8 verse mind training. So we see that in our life we have numerous experiences. Some are very pleasant, some are unpleasant experiences, and if we explore how these experiences they come into being, the desirable experiences, undesirable experiences, and of course the external factors that are there. External factors, say for example, if the weather is better, the weather is good, cool. For example, in Delhi, the weather is cool, and then people are more, say, fresh, and say the weather is cool, say the month of October in Delhi, or the early November, the weather is very pleasant, and they say the food is better. You feel at ease, and where the weather is just the terribly hot, like 47 degrees centigrade in the month of June, the late June, and although the food is also not good, you're sweating, right? So there we see that the mind gets easily agitated. So we see that the emotion states, a peace of mind or unhappiness, it is heavily dependent on external factors. One, that meanwhile, how to tackle the external factors. For that matter, we don't really have to learn. We don't really have to learn any philosophy and so forth. Of course, we know them more through one's own experience, but there's another factor, not only external, there's also the internal factor. Internal factor, keep in mind that whenever, unpleasant experience comes to you, so what is our tendency? Do we point to the external factors to blame for the blame, or do we point to internal? So we tend to blame outside all the time, right? Okay, so in my own experience, I see that I meet with so many different people, and for people to blame me, I don't have to do anything, right? You don't do anything bad, and then people can easily blame you, right? If you don't say anything, people say you're not saying anything, right? If you say something, why are you poking your nose, right? Oh, it's just, the point is that we are so addicted to pointing to external factors for your miseries. Say, for example, okay, today the glass is here. Okay, say the glass, I'm talking, in the process, accidentally I hit the glass and the glass falls, and then it breaks and a piece hits my hand and it injures my hand. Then who's ever going to be next to me? Your name?
Himanshu.
Huh?
Himanshu.
Himanshu and Yash, they are the victims, right? It's because of them nearby me that it fell. It has nothing to do with them. It is my carelessness. I hit the glass fell, and because of these two are there, they cursed. This is how our mind works. We never think of finally how the mind, the blame, going towards the internal factor. So this is what is not happening. And it's fine. If you blame the external factors, and if your problem goes away, do it, it's fine. But the problem never goes away. Right? The more you blame outside means that in a way you are saying that I cannot get into the problem. Because if Himanshu and Yash, if these are not there, then the Neta and the Richa, two of them will be there and Yael will be here. Three of them are going to suffer because they are the nearest to me. But because of two of them, then they curse and then it fell and it hurt me. So this is the problem is that we always, in a way, the moment we blame outside, we are in a way saying that my problem cannot be solved. Because external factors, how many external factors are they? Tell me? 1, 2, 10, 100, 1,000. Millions, innumerable external factors are there. Innumerable external factors are there. And external factors, there is no choice. Right? There's no choice. Say, if you're by yourself, you'll say that I'm lonely. If you're with other people, you'll say that I have no privacy. Right? So, what can we do? Will you stay by yourself? Or either you have to stay by yourself or you have to stay with somebody else. Right? So there's no other choice. So therefore, if you blame outside, then you will never have your problems come to an end. Now the point is, at the same time, there are two extremes. There are two extremes. One extreme is that always being outside, right? Always being outside, right? Saying, okay, one thing, not really, I don't mean to offend here, right? If you have food poisoning, we'll say it's because of this food, right? So we don't say that my body is weak. My body is weak. Anyway, you happen to have food poisoning, right? Okay, it does happen because of external factors. External factors are there, don't forget it. One say that, no, it's purely mental, purely mental, purely mental. This is also one extreme. One extreme is always external, external, external. This is another extreme, right? So we always have to be very realistic. The point is that we have to get rid of our problems. Our problem should be gotten rid of. This is the point. What's the problem? What's the problem? What's the problem? Say, if you're by yourself is a problem, or if you're with other person is a problem. What's the problem? Right? Some people, they prefer to be by themselves. Some people, they want to be with other people. Right? So it is not that with the one particular external factor, you are happy. With another external factor, you are unhappy. This is not the case. But external factors are responsible. Internal factors are also responsible. Don't forget it. So don't forget the sound of a clap. Sound of clap, which is analogous to the suffering that we're going through. So this suffering, with the metaphor of this sound of a clap, we should necessarily come into being by the two hands. One hand symbolizing external factors, other hand symbolizing internal factors. With these two hands together, then the sound invariably arises. Likewise, the two factors, the external and internal, right? Say the one, the food, unhealthy food, and then number two, so how you take it. Say if you are mentally, disturbed like this, then of course, whether you say if your body is very sensitive, then you take the unhealthy food, right? You can easily be affected. And it's not that your mind is ready, then you will not be affected. It's not the case. It affects you. But how you receive this, how you take this, when you feel, when your body becomes upset, your stomach becomes upset, you become irritated, you become not irritated. Okay, I understand it. It's because I ate the stale food, unhealthy food. So this is what is bound to happen. So I should take care of it. I should not get into this problem by, taking caution not to take any external food, any unhealthy food anymore. Your mind, so externally, physically, you may be affected, but mentally, you are affected or not, right? That is up to your thinking. That's up to your thinking. So therefore, external factors are there, internal factors are there. Now, the point is that you mentally become upset, irritated, agitated, and then go into depression. Even if you go through the worst of the physical problems, physical pains, for example, say accidents and so forth, it is not guaranteed that you will have to go into depression. So depression is purely psychological, mental, which means that you come across external factors, undesirable factors, and then you mentally become agitated, and then again you meet the external factors more, then mental agitation builds up, slowly it will take you into depression. So external factors are there. Never ever say that it's purely mental. That's not true. Mental is there, physical is there, put together, then the sound of the misery arises. So keeping this in mind, what I'm saying is that finally that your peace of mind should not be disturbed. Your peace of mind should not be disturbed. For that matter, whether your peace of mind is going to be disturbed or not, that depends on the two factors. External factor is bound to be there, then the internal factors. You're thinking, internal factors. Okay, so the two hands coming together, external factor and the internal factor together, then the agitation, irritation, then the mental agony, anxiety, stress, all these things are bound to happen. Right? Okay, now, say, if you remove external factors, we can't really try your best, do your best to get away from the external factors. Do your best, but don't expect that all the external factors will become zero. Don't expect that. If you're free from external factors today, you may meet with external factor tomorrow. So don't expect the external factors can become zero. But people, they're so concerned with the external factors, they don't think, they forget the main problem. They see the external factor as the main problem. That's not the case. External factor is analogous to one hand. And the problem is analogous not to the hand. Problem is analogous to the sound of the clap. Sound. Right? Even if the external factor is there, if the internal factor is pulled down, then with the one hand, however strong, the sound stops. There's no sound. Sound of misery stops. So the wise people, how wise you are, how wise somebody is, you can easily check it. If somebody looks for this problem is because of this external factor, always bring outside all the time, right? Which means the person is not that wise. Whereas this agitation, this problem, agitation, unhappiness, external factor is there, internal factor is there. The external factor, I cannot really stop it. So internal factors, I'll try my best to get into the external factors, but internal factors, I can. I can stop the internal factors, then the external factors is left alone. No sound. The sound of the misery stops. This is those people who think of getting rid of the external factors to the best they can, and meanwhile think of getting rid of the internal factors. This is a wise person. It doesn't matter what religion that you're following, what ethnicity that you are from, what gender, male, female, young, old, it doesn't matter. Anybody who's solely working to get rid of the internal factors in order to stop the miseries, that is a wise person. And anybody who has primarily focused on, say, blaming the external factors, right, and not working to get rid of the internal factors, these people are known as unwise people. So this is how we distinguish between matured and unmatured people. So even amongst the people who are say non-believers, who don't believe in any religion, some of them, they are amazingly aware of that. They work to get into the internal factors. They are so wise. So the wise people we find amongst the believers, non-believers, amongst the males, females, among the educated, uneducated, amongst the young, old, we find them in all the spectrum of the humanity. So with this in mind, what we're doing here is page 32, which we're reading, 8 verse mind training. So here, these 8 verses, they teach us how to get rid of how to tackle the internal factors. How to get rid of the internal factors. And you may be wondering, what are the internal factors? Internal factors primarily 2. One is the cognitive internal factor, and the other is the affective internal factor. Cognitive internal factor is the ignorance which distorts the reality. This ignorance. When in dark, you don't see what is around you, and because of which you may think that there's a door here, then you may bang against a wall. So this is because of the darkness of the ignorance. And this one internal factor which is responsible for you going through miseries. One internal factor. Other internal factor is the affective side. Affective side, which is the always self-centered attitude. I am the most important person in this world. Whether we say this or not, but deep inside we have this thought. I am the most important person in this world. So for example, if you're all going through a state of acute thirst, where you don't get even a drop of water to drink, and it's already 47 degrees centigrade, so hot, right? And then there's no water. Suddenly somebody brings, we're all just acutely thirsty. Somebody brings a glass of water. Who's going to drink this water? Okay, how many will say that, okay, let others have it? Or how many will say that we will, oh, one glass, okay, let's others have it. Oh, you can give to anyone. We're all thirsty. Or, no, let me have it. How many will say the first one, let others have it. The others are very thirsty. How many will say this? Okay, if you're 20% thirsty, you will say that, oh, give it to others. If you're 50% thirsty, you may say that, okay, I want to have it, but others also thirsty, you feel a little ashamed. If you're 80% thirsty, I like to have it, I like to have it. 90% thirsty, somebody says, no, I will have it, you fight with the other person. Right? Okay. Point is, this is what is known as a self-centered attitude. This attitude is one which serves as the internal factor, coming together with the external factor, some of the miseries, agitation, irritation arises. So therefore, these 8 verses, they're meant to teach us how to curb, how to get rid of the 2 internal factors. What are the 2 internal factors? The cognitive factor and the affective factor. What's the cognitive factor? Ignorance. What's the affective factor? Self-centered attitude. These 2 are the things. Anybody, whether you're a believer or not, whether you're Buddhist or not, it doesn't matter. Whether you're a believer or not, it doesn't matter. Whether you're male or female, okay, the female is saying, you can have these 2 things. It doesn't matter. For the males, if you have these things, you will suffer. No, whether you're male or female, there's no difference. Right? Likewise, whether you're young or old, it doesn't matter. Anybody who has these 2 things, the cognitive factor of ignorance and the affective factor of self-centered attitude, you will never be freed from suffering. So therefore, you are invariably given rise to the other hand. And the first hand is always there, external factor is also there. And then you are rendering the other hand, right? With the 2 hands coming together, invariably the suffering arises. So this is the reality. So with this in mind, say the wise people, of course, while attempting to get into the external factors, they will solely work to get into the internal factors, how to get rid of the ignorance and how to get into the self-centered attitude. And self-centered attitude and the ignorance combined together will give rise to a sense of what is known as the self-referential ego. Don't forget it. So these 2 things coming together will give rise to what is known as the self-referential ego. 1. So as long as this self-referential ego is there, miseries are the unwittingly, this will attract miseries. And then we also experience happiness sometimes. What attracts this? What is the basis for this happiness? Is the self-confidence. Don't forget it. So what attracts miseries is self-referential ego, and what attracts happiness is self-confidence. So what gives rise to self-confidence? Opposite of ignorance is the wisdom. Opposite of self-centered attitude is other-cherishing mind or uncompassion. So these 2 things combined together will give rise to an incredible self-confidence. So we see that within the mind, at times we experience miseries, other times we experience happiness. What are the causes of the happiness? What are the causes of the miseries? Are they random? No. They arise from their respective causes. Wise people will track the causes. Unwise people will track the result and then act impulsively. Right? Okay, I remember asking this question, I think in the diploma course, here also maybe. Okay, let's say I have a problem and you tell me, I turn towards you for your help, for advice. Say, I live on third floor. I live on the third floor. Okay, those of you who already heard this, don't give the reply. Right? Okay, I live on third floor. Third floor. Third floor means that it is not on the ground floor or not on the what? Basement. What's the problem with the basement usually? Water, right? Dampness. Okay, on the third floor means there's no possibility for dampness from the ground. Okay, on the third floor. Yet, to my surprise, say since recently, for the last like 1 month, I had this problem that my house is constantly very damp. There's so much of moisture coming, right? So much of moisture coming. Okay, and this moisture, because of which I have a problem. Say the moisture, I have an asthma problem, right? Okay, so how should you help me? What advice would you give me? So for sure, this asthma problem is because of this dampness of the house. What advice would you give me? Anyone? Very quick. What advice would you give me? Yes, Neta?
Go to fourth floor.
Oh, okay. Go to the fourth floor. Right? Fourth floor is owned by somebody who is very stubborn.
Go out to nature.
No, I have to, in the night, in Delhi, in the daytime, you cannot go out to nature. Right? It's 47 degrees centigrade. It's terrible. Okay. Then if I always go out, right, then people may think that something's wrong with me. They may send me to mental hospital. Okay, what advice would you give me? Yes, the girl over there. Yes, girl. Yeah. Okay, look for the cause of the dampness. Very good. Yes, the girl here.
You should change the house.
Huh?
Change the house.
Change the house. Yes, change the house. Okay, the best would be maybe we can go to 5-star hotel house. Okay, any other advice? Yes.
There are two sides to the problem. One is asthma, other one is dampness. So you
So
have
the asthma is because of the dampness, guaranteed. So what advice would you give me in order that my asthma is, no problem?
Yeah, so you can act on the dampness by identifying the cause and then getting it repainted or getting a layer of anti-dampness coat.
Okay, anti-dampness. Okay, yes.
And then you can always work on your asthma.
I'll go to the hospital.
Go to the hospital.
Okay.
Or,
Thank you. So tackle in two ways. One is the immediate, go to the hospital, and then the long term, they plaster the walls with the waterproof.
Yes.
Very good. Anyone else? Very good advice. Again, we have the architect. The architect should also give me the advice. Professor Architect, Badriji, no advice? Okay. Anyone else? Namsala? No advice. Oh, would you feel unhappy seeing that I'm constantly suffering asthma? Right? You'll be very unhappy. So which means you like to give some advice to me. What advice would you give? Okay. So the point is, let's say that I've given a clue that I'm not on the ground floor. I'm not on the basement, which means that the water, the dampness coming in my house is for sure not from the ground. If it's from the ground, then the floor absorbs the water, or water coming out slowly, and then okay, this is one thing. But because I'm on the third floor, water from the ground is not possible. right? And if I have to move the house, one is very costly. It's very costly, right? And you have to sacrifice many things, right? Okay. And in the first place, real estate people, you know, these people, they will get you the first month what? First month rent. They will charge you first month rent, which is like maybe like 30,000-40,000, right? Okay. One. Then number two, you have to sacrifice your job for like few days to do for the house. Okay, then the other one is plastering. Plastering will cost us minimum 20,000 rupees, right? Minimum 20,000 rupees. So meanwhile, so these problems are there. So, what's your name over there? The lady over there. What's your name? Sangeeta. Okay, Sandita or Sangeeta? Sangeeta. So what Sangeeta said, it says, just track damnness, where is it coming from? Where is it coming from? For sure it's not from the ground. Because it's not from the ground, it becomes very easy for you. If it's for the ground, then it's very complicated, right? Because it's not from the ground, you're on the third floor, it's very easy, you have to track it. There must be, you know, from a water source, and the water source is what? Only the tank, or the water pipes. That's it. Check the water pipes, and you may see that there's one small hole there, water pipe, right? For this, you buy glue for 10 rupees and fix it there. You don't have to spend like 20,000 rupees, 30,000 rupees, and going in the sun to look for the house. You don't do that, right? So just 10 rupees glue, fix it there, finish. Your house is perfectly fine. And then if you go to the hospital to fix your asthma, good. Even if you don't go there, in 5 days' time, it will be over on its own. You're getting it? The point is that we have to track the cause. Track the cause. If you don't track the cause, then it will, if you try to deal with the results directly, not the cause, but the effect directly, it only becomes what is known as symptomatic treatment. Symptomatic treatment is not a wise treatment. The real, for example, if I have a constant headache, fever, or you give paracetamol. In Israel, what do you give?
Acamol.
Huh?
Acamol.
Acamol, right? Okay. So in India, we give paracetamol, and tomorrow also paracetamol, right? Okay, by the way, there are 3 Israels now. Okay, so taking the paracetamol or the Acamol, your fever will go away for 3 hours, 2 hours. Again, it will come back. This is just a symptomatic treatment. This is not real treatment. Wise people will have a thorough checkup to see something wrong inside, like tuberculosis, pneumonia, and so forth. You're getting it? Once you know that, rectify that, the fever will go away for good. So this is how wise people should be doing. Likewise, all the experiences of happiness and miseries. Experience of happiness and miseries, don't try to tackle them symptomatically. Track the causes. You track the causes, we realize that the miseries, the final cause is the self-referential ego, which comes from the 2 factors. Cognitive factor of ignorance and the affective factor of self-centered attitude. And the happiness arises from self-confidence, which arises from 2 factors. Cognitive factor of the wisdom as opposed to ignorance, and the affective factor of compassion as opposed to self-centered attitude. Right? So now, 8 verse 1 training teaches us how to get rid of the self-referential ego and how to boost your self-confidence. Oftentimes, what happens is that we equate these two things, self-confidence and the self-referential ego. In other words, the ego, self-confidence, we equate the two things oftentimes. When we equate the two things, what's the problem? The problem is that, okay, ego is the problem. You subdue your ego, your self-confidence also goes down. And then say, oh, now I don't have self-confidence. You boost the self-confidence, your ego also is boosted. This is the problem, right? So this is where, if we equate these two things, again, we are extremely unwise. Wise people will not equate these two things, will separate the two things, will subdue the self-referential ego, and will boost self-confidence. You're getting it? Anybody who is able to do that, that person is a wise person, that person is a mature person. You're getting it? So this self-referential ego, it oftentimes manifests in the form of anger, irritation, agitation, anger, and short-temperedness, and so forth. So these are nothing but the sign of weakness. Anger is never a sign of strength. It is a sign of weakness. Confidence is a sign of strength. Calmness is a sign of strength. Even in the midst of the adverse situations, you are able to maintain calm and peaceful. This is so rare that people can demonstrate. What is so rare? Anybody displays such quality, that person known as wise person and a controlled person, mature person. Right? Anybody who behaves like how the ordinary people behave, right? Very impulsively. Suppose you're stupid, you will say you're stupid. Right? Very so fast, like short circuit. Right? High voltage short circuit. Suppose you're stupid. So this is how the ordinary beings behave. Very mature people will not respond like this, will remain so calm, peaceful. Somebody says you're stupid. Very calm, confidence, just keep looking at the person. You're stupid, and then you will become so timid like this, right? Okay, this person said I'm stupid. This is again extreme. Other person says you're stupid. This is again extreme, right? Whereas a very mature person will remain very calm, peaceful, and then first, when the person may even give a little smile to the person, right? I think you think that I'm stupid. I did not realize this. Right? I did not realize that. Right? Okay. So can you explain as to how, in what way I'm stupid? Right? You're stupid. The other person says that you're like this. You're very calm and you ask, in what way you're stupid? In what way I'm stupid? Yes, you're stupid. Right? Which means the other person is saying that I'm stupid. Right? So therefore, this is a difference between the calm, mature person and the real stupid person. So this is how to make. So you're stupid. So this is coming from the ego or from the confidence. When you're confident, you will never say this. You will remain very calm and peaceful. So when somebody says, you're stupid. Right? This is coming from the ego. Your ego is hurt. So this ego is the one, and then what happens? The other person will start hitting you. You will also hit the other person, right? Okay, then pull the hairs or hit the other person. It ends up in no way of any benefit to anyone, right? This is all because of the ego. Whereas the ego is subdued, boosts the self-confidence. In fact, this was what actually happened at the time of the Buddha. The Buddha was giving teaching, and then there was another person, they say somebody who was really jealous of the Buddha's fame. So he came and then started to abuse the Buddha in public, right? You are such a fraud, you are like this, and so forth. Buddha remained very calm. He stopped giving teachings. Because the person was disrupting. So he had stopped giving teachings and he was listening. Very calm, peaceful. And the other person was, okay, now the person thought that, okay, so the Buddha is not responding to me, not reacting to me. not reacting to me, so I can say anything I like. So he's so happy, he started abusing Buddha even more. So what he has to abuse, right? Whatever he has to say will finish in like 5 minutes. So because the material finished, so what has to be done? If there's one song, if the song is finished, what will be done? You repeat it. Right? You repeat it. Again, he has to repeat the same thing. Again, the Buddha is not reacting. If the Buddha reacts, then he will have no new ideas coming. But because the Buddha is not reacting, whatever he has to say, he has to repeat it over and over again. So 2 times, 1 time is fine, 2 times is okay, 3 times is terrible. Nobody will listen to you. You will feel so bored. And 4th time, you feel tired yourself. Then he stopped talking. And the Buddha said, okay, my friend, you are done now. He said, yes. He has to say, there's no choice. He felt tired now, right? Because he realized that he's now becoming like the puppet, like stupid in the face of the other people around. Then the Buddha said, no anger, no agitation, no reaction. The Buddha said, okay, now it's my turn to tell you, say something. He said, yes. Then Buddha said, imagine, you have out of so much of love and care, you bought a lot of gifts to be presented to your friend. And you carried these gifts and went to your friend and gave it to him. And your friend declined to accept it. What happened to gifts? That other person said, of course, naturally, the gift will be left with me. Right? So if my friend does not accept them, then I will have this will be left with me, then I can use them. Likewise, the Buddha said, you have brought the gift of acquisition against me. I do not accept any one of this. This is all with you. Right? So this can happen only with somebody with calmness and confidence. If you don't have this confidence, you will instantly surrender to the opposite of confidence. What's the opposite of confidence? Ego. You will surrender to ego. With ego, anger arises. The moment anger arises, anger is the greatest sign of weakness. It's never a sign of strength. How? If you chase a dog with a stick, what will the dog do? Dog will keep running. Dog will keep running. You keep chasing the dog will keep running. Suddenly the dog ends up in a place, the corner of the room. Corner of the room, nowhere to run. You go too close to the dog, what will happen? What will the dog do? The dog will attack you back. Right? Thus far, the dog did not attack you. The dog was running. Now the dog is attacking. So the dog attacking you is like somebody becoming angry. Why the dog is attacking you now at this point? Why not before? Before, the dog has some confidence that I can run. I can escape. Now the dog becomes desperate. Desperate means vulnerable. Vulnerable means weak. Feeling so weak, then the dog, only alternative left with the dog is to attack. Other than that, there's nothing the dog can do. So this attacking back and anger is nothing but a sign of vulnerability, sign of weakness. You getting it? Sign of weakness. And with this anger, what happens is that your sense of the sanity, sense of wise thinking stops. You become like a crazy person. You act in such a way that you would otherwise not act like this. Right? You can use such abusive words which otherwise you will not use. And others will be so shocked to see that you are using such abusive words and you're doing such things which a normal person would not do. And then your anger subsides, and then you reflect back on what you did, you regret. So all these things, nasty things which you did, who made you to do that? Because of the ignorance, because of this anger. So anger is nothing but a sign of weakness, number one. Number two, it destroys you. It destroys you in the most effective way. So therefore, it was mentioned in the reading. This teaches us how to control the anger, how to maintain self-confidence, how to not give in to self-referential ego. Okay, let's read this. Page 32. So in the text, when we read, it says that, may I give the victory to others? May I take the defeat on myself? So it's not like you are denying yourself. That's self-denial. The point is, it is not denying yourself. It is rejecting the self-referential ego. It's not rejecting you. You may read it as rejecting yourself or being unkind to yourself. No, it is rejecting the self-referential ego. Right? Okay, always be kind to yourself. Never be unkind to yourself. Never be harsh to yourself. Never ever have a sense of self-hate. Always love yourself. This is so important because you are very important. You are very important. What is unimportant, what is bad is not you. They're your ego. Separate the ego and you. This you, this self, this person is so precious. But the ego inside the self, that is poison. Discard the ego and this person will become a divine person. Right? This person is so precious. Subdue the ego and this person will become a divine person. This person can become such an altruistic person. Okay. So with this mind, let's read. With the determination to achieve the highest aim for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may I hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character or oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as I've discovered a jewel treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrongly with abuse, slander and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard him still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all the hurts and pains of my mothers. May all these remain undefiled by the stains of the 8 mundane concerns, and may I, recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From my true collections, vast space that I've amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief-leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom eyes blinded by ignorance. Okay, continuation from where we left last time, the Wheel of Life. Okay, we finished the Wheel of Life. We finished that. Now a little bit of, appendage, additional points as appendage to this Wheel of Life, the teaching. Okay, by the way, how many of you were present for the last, the Wheel of Life teaching? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Namsalov, 6, Badriji?
Not as part of this class.
Okay, yes. Okay, so fine. The point is that this class, the Friday class, I deliberately keep it going, Friday class. The reason is for people to, say the people who are not enrolled in the master's course, who are not enrolled in another diploma course, so they still have some place to go. So therefore, this is the Friday is more like the open to all, whereas the classes that we have on the Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, they are specifically for those who registered. So those who are not registered, we keep this Friday class open. Anyone who would like to join it. Okay, so what we did last time was that the wheel of life, which of course I cannot go over it again now here, because we already did 2 sessions of that. But what we're doing here is something related to that, and of course extremely important, so relevant to our day-to-day life. And if we know this, we act accordingly, it can have a tremendous benefit for our, say, the inner life. It can make our life much easier, right? Okay, so many of the unnecessary problems will be solved. Okay, so today is more like, say, the concept of law of karma. Concept of law of karma. Okay, so this concept of law of karma. How many? Just raise your hands, those who heard about what karma is. Heard about karma. Karma is karma. Okay, almost all of us. So this concept is a very important concept, law of karma, and the how this concept came to be. Let us not start by taking for granted that what karma is. Let's start from the scratch. Say the day one we are born on this earth. Day one we are born on this earth. How many of you heard about karma? Day one you were born on this earth. Day one you were born on this earth. Right? How many of you are aware of the law of karma? No one. No one. Just day one born on this earth. Right? You have no idea what karma is. You have no idea about even your mother. You're getting it? You are just a total stranger on this earth. Let us start from there. You getting it? Okay. Now, say you are a stranger. And then slowly, okay, you're age 3, age 5, age 10. So in the oftentimes, so for many people, by the age 10, you're already introduced to some philosophy or some religious concepts, concept of God, concept of karma, or in some cases, say Big Bang Theory, right? Solar system. Okay, so the universe, we introduced them, slowly we introduce these concepts. Okay, so they say like 6,000 years ago, human beings, I think 0.3 million years ago, human beings, the starting point of the human beings, I think it's like 0.3 million years ago, right? So let's say like 10,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, or let's say 10,000 years ago, early man. You agree with me? What we studied is early men, which means that we are more like animals. We are more like the apes, right? Okay, so they have no philosophy, no religion on this earth. Okay, so people simply have a small family, nuclear family, right? Nuclear family, then slowly becoming a joint family, then now turn into a nuclear family back, right? Okay, so nuclear family meaning that, say the father, mother, and children, just one family, and then say that they slowly becomes like a community. So to protect themselves, knowing that they share many things common, while the wild animals, like maybe in those days, like dinosaurs, and the wild animals, maybe very fierce animals, tigers, whatever. So they are very different, and we are different, and we are common. So they start to live together for greater protection. So the more they are together, then the other animals they come, because of the number, they will be, say they push aside. Okay, this started. Then slowly thinking becomes more. Initially, it was more like the physical mind, because they have to survive. First, they have to survive. For the survival, they need food. For the food, they don't know how to plant crops. So they have to feed on other animals. For that, they should be able to run. They should be able to fight with animals. Physical might. So physical might governed those human beings. Like 10,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago. And slowly, they start to live together. And then with this, then the thinking starts. Thinking starts, say even with the weapons, they become more and more complicated, more sophisticated. And then, say the getting food becomes easier for them as compared to the earlier times. So because for food, they can get the food more easily, now they have time to think. They have time to think, and thinking started to grow. With the thinking, then people start to, say there's a thunder there. Oh, there's a power which is so powerful, right? More powerful than us. Then the concept of worshipping the thunder. And where there's no water, right? Then you start wearing the water, you worship the water. And the fire, with the fire, the food is more delicious, right? And the fire keeps you warm. And fire can keep the animals away from you. So the fire is so precious for us. So you start worshiping the fire. All this slowly, the concept of worshiping starts. Then with the worshiping, then the cognitive side, why that started to evolve. Then slowly it becomes very complicated. Then the question arises, how all these things came into being. We need water, and the water comes from the sky. Who's creating all these things, right? And say now to talk about it more technically. Say if you eat something poisonous, oftentimes we vomit, right? So who made this mechanism which makes us to throw out what is undesirable? What is desirable, you keep it, and then spreads to all the body, All these complicated questions arise, and who is responsible for creating all these things? Okay, so then many concepts start to evolve. Some say that it is done by the Asian. There's one Asian who is so powerful, which creates all these things. Then the concept of God came to being. And then some say that it is all because of the karma. What do you do, right? What do you do that is responsible for all these things? But then, what did I do? Day one I was born, I did not do anything. But some people are sick, some people are not sick. It's not only this life, past life, right? Then all these concepts, they start to evolve. Past life, what do you do? Finally, what do you do is responsible for experiencing. The good place that you're born, the bad place that you're born, they're all because of so your own deeds, your own karma. And when did I do this karma? I did not do any bad karma, so why should I suffer at age 1, age 2? Oh, it's not you in this life, you in the past life, right? Then the concept of past life, all these started to, give into being. And then another group of people said that it has nothing to do with karma. It has nothing to do with God. It is just, from the evidence, from the empirical evidence, we see that with the Doppler's effect, we see that the universe is expanding. Right? Universe is expanding. So just as we have the solar system, where there's a central figure, which is the sun, and the other planets, 8 to 9 planets, they have revolved around. Likewise, there's the galaxy, where there's a central figure, not as one entity, but something like, everything revolving around like this, the way the solar system works, like this. Okay, so by the empirical evidence of the Doppler's effect, we see that This same the universe which is evident to us, this universe is expanding from the Doppler's effect. This universe is expanding. This is truth. This is something which we can see. We don't have to believe in. We don't have to believe in the concept of karma. We don't have to believe in the concept of God. This is something so evident which we can see, right? The universe is expanding through the Doppler's effect, which can scientifically prove it. Not only expanding and accelerating with acceleration, which means it was if it was expanding, say 2 kilometers per hour today, today, 100,000 years ago, it was expanding at a pace of say 1 kilometer per hour. So which means it's accelerating. Accelerating means go back in time, right? Go back in time. Go back in time. Say today the whole universe is like this size. 100 years ago it was smaller. 1,000 years ago it was still smaller. 1 million years ago still smaller. 10 million was smaller. 1 billion is smaller. 15 billion years ago, everything should be together. Right? This is a fact. This is one group of people who are known as the physicists today, astrophysicists today. They say that universe is not created by God. Universe is not created by law of karma. Buddhists believe in law of karma. It's not by law of karma. It is this Big Bang, big explosion that the universe came into being. Okay, so there, again questions are there, right? Questions are there. So what was before the Big Bang? Then they say that before Big Bang there is no time. Time, space all evolved from this singularity. Right? Time evolved from this singularity. There was nothing there before that. If there's nothing before that, then singularity, why it exploded? Why it exploded at a certain time? Why it did not remain like this for good? So again, there's a divergent views coming. Some said, okay, this is a problem. So therefore, it is a multiple Big Bang, which means that big explosion, right? Now it is accelerating, and slowly it will de-accelerate. The speed will slow down, and slowly the expansion will stop. When the expansion stops, with gravity, it will come back, right? Then it's going to be again, it will accelerate. Then there's a big crunch, and the Big Bang, big crunch, Big Bang. So there is multiple Big Bang. This is what, again, within the scientists, they split into different views. You're getting it? So these are the views. Now the point, what we are going to study here, very quickly, what we're going to study here about law of karma, how that came into being, because of law of karma, because of God, because of Big Bang, it doesn't matter. You're getting it? This we have to explore. Now what we're going to study here is today, whether you're a scientist, or whether you believe in God, or whether you believe in karma, all agree to the point that we should be good, we should not be bad. We should do good things. Good things mean good actions. Don't do bad actions. You're getting it? Everybody agrees with this. Whether you believe in God, whether you don't believe in God. Whether you believe in Big Bang, whether you don't believe in Big Bang. Whether you believe in karma, not karma, all agree with this. That do good things will happen. Don't do bad things, otherwise bad things will happen, right? Okay, this is the basic thing that we all agree, right? If somebody is compassionate towards another person, everybody will love that person. Whether you're a believer, if that person is a believer in God, believer in law of karma, believer in quantum physics, or the Big Bang, they will all love what you're doing. If you engage in stealing, If you engage in stealing, if you engage in doing anything bad, nobody will love you. This is the reality. So, keeping aside how the universe came into being, right? So many theories are there. The law of karma that we're learning here is particularly precisely in the context of what is happening now. What is happening now? What we should be doing now? Okay. So in this context, there are concepts which may involve reincarnation. Right? I'm not talking about how the universe came into being. This is not my question. My question is, how do we account for the karma which everybody interested to see you doing something good karma and not bad karma, not stealing but giving, right? Showing compassion, not terrorizing others. So like this. So that karma is what I'd like to share with you. Okay. So karma, often within the people who believe in the law of karma, there is a great degree of misunderstanding, misrepresentation, and misreading of what karma is. Okay, to the extent that people who believe in karma, particularly those people who believe in karma, and not understanding karma so precisely. So what they do is that okay, something bad happens to you. Okay, no, it's because of my karma. Okay, so it has a good effect and a bad effect. Suddenly, if somebody, if your house is broken, somebody broke in your house, and then everything's stolen, and you cannot track the thief, right? So what is better? So in any way, you have lost everything, right? Now you become so agitated, so angry. You are banging you are hitting the wall. Why this happened to me? This better? Or okay, it's my karma. What do you do? Right? I must have stolen something in the past, in my past life, right? So now it happened to me. Okay. So whether it's true or not, but you're not agitated. You will not hit the wall, right? And you will not shout at your mother, right? The poor mother, where did you go? Right? You just start shouting at your mother, you start shouting at your neighbors like that. Instead of that, it's karma. Okay, so this is the positive effect, that you maintain your calmness, you will not be agitated, you don't go into depression. Because you don't go into depression, you will not lose another, say 1 lakh rupees. Going into depression, you have to again pay heavy amount to the doctors, the psychiatrists, right? So you don't lose, not only you lost your property, the things in your house, you also lose another 1 lakh rupees to the medical doctor. This is unnecessary. Whereas if you accept this, okay, this is my karma, I must have done something. For example, say if I took a person's food, say like 10 years ago, very bad food, then I may feel the effect after 10 years. For example, some young people, right? When they're young, they fall, and then you say their legs are broken, some problems there. And then, because you're young, good immune system, will be healed very soon. Then after 10 years, when you reach age 40, 50, then you will start feeling the pain where you earlier had the fall. Right? It was because it was not perfectly cured. Because injured and cured, healed, and without injury in its original state is far better. You're getting it? So once injured, then it can come back, relapse. So can relapse when your immune system goes down. Okay, so the point is that they say that, okay, this is maybe now I'm having the knee problem, a problem at the back. So I remember that when I was young, I fell, and because of which now it is relapsing. You're not as much agitated. Whereas if you don't remember that, And then suddenly you have a backache and so severe, and the doctor says that we can't do anything to you. Now this is a very serious matter. Why should it happen to me? Why should it happen to me? You become so agitated. So you have a back problem plus agitation. Two things happening. Whereas if you accept that this is because of when I was young, I fell. Well, now this is relapsing. The back pain is there, but the agitation is not happening to you. You're getting it? Okay, so this is a benefit. One, demerit. Demerit of this is that some people, what they do is that in the schools, particularly in the college, right? In the college, forget about coming to Tibet house, right? They go to nightclubs. Always nightclubs. Tomorrow's exam, still nightclubs. And find your exam failed. You failed. And your mother said, you failed your exam. Mom, what should I do? It's my karma. Right. So therefore, it becomes an excuse. This is an excuse. So excuse for somebody to be lazy. Right? Okay. So it is a plus point and the demerit and the merit both. Okay. Now the point is that if you know the concept karma well, you can have the benefit, you will not have the demerit. If you know the concept karma well. If you don't know the concept karma well, it can have the benefit, it also can have demerit. Okay, now what exactly is karma? This is the question. Karma, we're not to think of that as weird phenomena, which is, unseen, some esoteric, some the secret, nothing. Karma means action. Action. What action? Physical, verbal, and mental action. You say something, Yash, you're a so kind person. This is a verbal action. Right? Right? Okay, Yash, you're a very kind person. You're thirsty. Drink the water. This is a physical action. And mentally, you say, okay, Yash is a very kind person. Mentally think about it, a very kind person. He is so keen to help others, keen to grow oneself. It's so good. It's a mental action. So mental, verbal, and physical. So the three positive actions, positive karma. Likewise, three negative karmas, right? Yes, what are you doing here? What have you learned? You have not learned anything. You have been coming to Tibet for the last 1 year. Still, nothing happened to you. This is verbal negative karma. And mentally, what's the point of him coming to Tibet house? This is mental negative karma. And physically, Yash, how dare that you come to Tibet house and you don't go at all physically doing like this. This is a physical negative karma. You're getting it? So, karma is nothing but a physical, verbal, and mental action. Right? And to be very precise, right? Say the same laptop which is manufactured, right? Say this year, and another laptop with the same cover, same the body, same external cover, but the machine inside, chips and these things, 50 years old. Externally, these two are same. But when you operate it, one operates so fast, very effective, and the other hangs very fast. You're getting it? How many of you have that experience? A computer you operate, you hit and hang so easily. Huh? Okay. In fact, I remember that must be like, I think 1997, 1994. 1994, 1995. How many years ago now? 1995. 23 years ago. 23 years ago, in my monastery, Tibet monastery, I think we bought the first computer. We bought the library Tibet, the library bought the first computer, and it was extremely expensive as compared to today. Very expensive. And same, I was used to typing computer typing from, before coming to Devanosa Monastery, I was in the IBD, Dharamsala. So there I got the opportunity to do the typing, computer typing a lot. Because of that, okay, relatively I was quite fast. So this computer which we bought there, and the computer which we use in IBD was Apple computer in those days. Those days directly came from America. Right? And computers which we were using there, maybe it's Windows, right? So I was working so fast, and the computer hangs. Computer hangs. Computer hangs is fine. Hangs, and then I switch it off again, switch it on. It doesn't work. It does not. It doesn't in the first place. It does not. It does not get switched on at all. Right? Then we call the technician. Says the motherboard is some problem with the motherboard. You have to change the motherboard. Change the motherboard. How much? 10,000 rupees. And again finished. So therefore that happens. So what I'm saying is that, why did I say this? Why? Good example. Old and new. Why did I say this? No, that's fine.
And then you said the real something, precisely.
Precisely what is karma? Okay, yes, thank you. Precisely what is karma, right? Okay, let's say, so these two computers which are so effective and which hang so fast, superficially they are same, with the same physical appearance, right? Why one hangs so fast and why the other one is so effective? Why? Because technology is different. You're getting it? Technology determines, not by the superficial appearance. Technology inside, that makes the difference. Likewise, why some say yash? So how these, I'm just calling the same person, but the tone is very different. The person, the feeling inside is coming very different. What makes these two, the same action, calling somebody, right? One is coming very gently, other coming very rough. So why that is happening? Because of internal thinking. You agree with me? Internal thinking, if I really care, if I really have a sense of concern for Yash, and then I see that Yash has a little problem, then my tone will be, Yash, any problem? Is there anything that I can do? Right? You're wonderful, amazing. Otherwise, if I don't really like him, Yash, right? Eyebrows up. Okay, so this tone is coming from inside. And the gentle tone is also coming from inside. What is this inside? Thinking. You're getting it? Thinking. Likewise, physical expression, physical karma. Verbal expression, verbal karma. Mental expression, mental karma. All these three are determined by something internal inside. That is known as, don't think that there must be something secret inside. No, it's very simple. This is known as the mental intention. It's the intention inside. Intention to say something nice. Intention to say something bad. Intention to bang the table. Intention to, be expressed very gently. So this intention. What is real karma? Physical, verbal, mental? These are nothing but the expression of this intention. So the real karma is the intention inside. Intention which makes you to shout, which makes you to say something nice, which makes you to, say physically act in generosity, which makes you to be unkind towards others. So this intention is the karma. And this intention, no one else, is your intention. Your intention. So if you have a good intention, automatically good karmas will come out. Bad intention, bad karmas will come out. now with this, the point is that the same people say, okay, it's my karma, it's my karma. This intention, because karma is your intention, this intention can decide, can change even the previous karmas. You getting it? For example, say if I have been being very unkind with other people, very selfish in my past lives, now the negative karma of that is happening within me. In the process, I can, because of this intention with me now, this intention I can change it from being selfish, I can change it to being compassionate. So by changing this intention, compassionate, that can undo the previous negative karmas. You getting it? So therefore, the thing is that the karma, with the karmas, it is not something for you to blame to, but this is a karma on the basis of which you can have the inspiration. Otherwise, some people think that, oh, with the karma, there's a totally contradiction there, because it takes you to predeterminism. You're getting it? Okay, how many of you know about this issue of the predeterminism versus free will? How many of you had some discussions with friends, with the other people and so forth? Predeterminism versus free will. Raise hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this is a very serious matter. Very serious discussion. What's the discussion? Free will versus predeterminism. This is a acutely serious discussion happening anywhere in science, in philosophy, in psychology, right? Anywhere, this question is a huge big question. Neuroscience, even with physics. Albert Einstein is more in favor of predeterminism, whereas Niels Bohr is more into free will. You getting it? Niels Bohr? Because Niels Bohr, his contribution is mainly in quantum physics, and quantum physics talks about randomness. Randomness means not determined, right? Random versus determinism. So quantum physics talks about randomness, because of which they are against predeterminism. But Albert Einstein is not really in favor of randomness concept in quantum physics. Albert Einstein is more in favor of the determinism principle. Okay, so this is a big question, right? Whereas, and of course, you can just ask this question. If you really want to if you're so keen on debate, right, you go to any discipline and you can pick up this question and it'll just turn a problem there, right? What is predeterminism? So what you're saying is more determinism. What is free will? You ask this question, everybody will just boil into their soup. right? So this is a big question. Anyway, wherever you go, in physics, in neuroscience, right? Okay. In philosophy, within philosophy, Western philosophy, Buddhist philosophy, Hindu philosophy, and so whatever philosophy they're following, Christianity or Judaism or any philosophy, right? This question is, you just throw it there and then finish. Yeah. Okay. So now the point is that we have little time. Okay. Of the several points, I'd like to share with you what is known as, let's say, the definite karma and uncertain karma. I'd like to share this with you. There are a number of classifications, and I don't know how many of you will be there for the next Friday class. I'm not too sure, right? Okay, because of which we have just like 15 minutes now. I cannot go through all the points, but the next class I will do the remaining part. Today I will do the the definite karma and uncertain karma. If you know this concept, many of the misrepresentations, miscommunication, misunderstanding, misreading of the on the concept of karma can be eradicated. Okay, so let's say that some people have some people have this wrong concept. Okay, some people have radical concepts on law of karma. Radical, such as they say that, okay, he is sick, right? Or he's poor. He's poor. Oh, he's poor. We should help. No, don't help. Because he's becoming poor, it's because of his karma, right? If you help him, if you give money to help this person, you're intruding in the karma. You're intruding in his karma, right? Okay, whereas when you're hungry, somebody comes to give you food. Oh, no, don't give me food. Because my hunger is because of my karma, you're intruding karma. Nobody will say this. Nobody will say this. The same person who stops others from being kind to somebody, saying that you're intruding the karma, will never say this when it comes to you. You're getting it? Yet people say this. People say this in, say somebody's sick, terribly sick, and then say you are helping the other person. No. The person becoming sick is because of purifying the karma. Karma is getting purified, right? If you help, if you take him to the hospital, then the person will, you're intruding the karma of the person. Okay, this is a total misunderstanding, total misrepresentation of the law of karma. Okay, now, question 1. This person becoming sick, is it because of the karma? Answer is 100% yes. But can we do something? Can we help the person? Answer is yes. Because it is karmic result. Karmic result is of two kinds. One is a very powerful karma operating and a weak karma operating. You're getting it? When a very powerful karma is operating, you cannot do as much. For example, even if you are a billionaire, you can die at a very early age with the best of the medical facilities. Still, you can die at a very early age, right? Whereas somebody with good medical facilities, the person can survive for the next 20 years. With the bad facilities, medical facilities, without getting the medical facilities, the person will die very early. For example, my mother. Let us not, think about far away. My mother. I lost my mother when I was just 5 years old. Now, when I think back in time, I was 5 years old. I had no clue what was going there. But today, when I learned about how my mother passed away, it was all because of the lack of medical facilities in that remote area. Had it been the case that she's today, for example, in Delhi, right? No doubt she will live a very healthy, happy life for the next, say, whatever. So she died in her 40s. She could have easily lived for the next 40 years, another 40 years, easily. Today, from my assessment of how she passed away, so the point is that, okay, so the mother passed away because of her karma. Of course, it's because of karma. But karma, there are two. One karma which is weak, one karma which is strong. Which is weak, we can interrupt. We can interrupt in the operation of that karma. With a very strong karma, we can interrupt only if you are strong. Only if your mind is very strong. Okay, let me give this example. This example is very helpful. Say a toy train. A toy train is Toy train meaning a big train, big, but not a proper train, just a toy train. You can easily stop it. Okay, you can easily stop it, and this child, a toddler there, but the toy train can easily crush the toddler, a baby, right? Whereas you can easily stop it. Okay, so it's a toddler train. And if you neglect it, if you ignore this, then the train can run and crush the baby, right? Okay. Now, whether or not the baby is going to die, whether or not the baby is going to die, is going to be crushed, depends on the train as well as me, right? Seeing that the train is going and I'm next to the train, I can stop the train. I can interrupt the flow of the train. Right? Whereas if it is a real train, express train, big, huge, massive train, do you know, to stop the train, the big trains, to stop the train, where can we, from where, what distance we have to stop the train? From what distance? From the 1 meter?
Some kilometers.
Some kilometers. You're getting it? For the big train, even if you see the problem happening, you have to stop it. You have to stop it from some kilometers ahead, right? Not on the spot, not like the cars or the bikes. You stop within a few meters. You can stop it, but not the trains, big trains. So if the big train is running, right, and the baby is about like say 100 meters away from you, and you cannot run because the train is faster than you, and you are sitting next to the train, you hold the train, it cannot. Even you will be dragged by the train, right? So because the force of this train is so massive, so great, that you cannot really have anything to do. So forget about let alone baby, even the big people, adults can easily be crushed by the train. So this is the example of the definite karma. And whereas the toy train, which you can easily stop, if you stop the toy train, the baby is going to be saved. If you just ignore this, then it can crush the baby. So that is the example for the uncertain karma. So in our case, there are so many cases of uncertain karma operating. There are so many cases of uncertain karma operating. Because they're uncertain karma, they are not that strong karma. They're weak. Because they're weak, we can easily interrupt in the flow of these uncertain karma. Right? Uncertain karma. So therefore, if somebody is sick, the Buddha said that you must help them. You must help. To the extent, you wouldn't believe the amount of love and affection the Buddha displayed. The Buddha said that if somebody is sick and you don't have the material facilities at all, financial facilities, then say on the altar, people worship. For example, in the Asian culture, India, Tibetans, Chinese, right? In the Asian culture, and also in the Western culture, I don't know much about in Judaism. Do you offer gold, silver to the gods and goddesses? Yes? The same then. In Christianity, in Judaism, in Hinduism, Jainism, Sikhism, right? Okay, so offer, say, gold to the temple, gold to the mosque, and these things out of devotion. So the Buddha said that, say the gold, silver, so forth, that you offer to the Buddha statue, offer there, right? If you see somebody who is, right, suffering terribly, health issues, and you don't have any material resource, then even if you have to take these things from the offered, what was offered to the Buddha, you can sell them and then use this money to help the poor and the sick people. This is what the Buddha said. So Buddha didn't say that, oh, this is a karma, right? So don't help, because if you help, you're including karma. Buddha never said it. Because the Buddha said that this karma can be interrupted. It's a negative flow of the negative karma. This can easily be interrupted by you helping. You're getting it? So this is where, if you understand the karma in this way, then you cannot be deviated to interpret the karma in the wrong way, as an excuse for not helping others, as an excuse for laziness. Okay, so before we close this class, any question that you might have about karma? Yes.
Reverend Lama, I have a very different question. The question is on free will in Buddhism. When we have interdependence, when we say that, it is purely on interdependence, and that's precisely part of the Heart Sutra as well. Can there be a free will in Buddhism?
Okay, see. So now we enter into the soup. Right? Okay, this is a huge topic. I know deliberately I brought it here because some people are already aware of this question, and there are some who are not aware of this. Younger ones may not be aware of that, right? Okay, in fact, this question came to me for the first time when I was still studying in my monastery. Okay, this is what I'd like to share with you. I don't want to go too much into this. For the more detailed explanation, if you want, we can do it on a separate time. I'll be happy to do that. This is a very serious question. Okay, what happened was that there was one American lady who was a student of my teacher. And then this American lady, of course, she became Buddhist. And her husband is a physicist. And she is so pushy. She's so pushy to the extent that she wanted to make her husband also become a Buddhist. So she was always telling her husband, you have to study Buddhism, you have to, like this, they dragging him to become a Buddhist. And the husband said one thing, okay, you're always pushing me to become Buddhist. Yes, I'll become Buddhist, provided you can give an answer to my question. She's so happy, right? Okay, with Buddhist question, any question on Buddhism, I know Buddhism more than him, right? Okay, fine. So now she thought that now I'm very successful, I'm able to convert my husband to Buddhist. Okay, what is your question? He said, Buddhism accepts law of karma. Then she said, yes. If you accept law of karma means that what is happening is dependent on your previous karma. Previous karma means you don't have any say. You don't have the control now. It's already decided by the previous karma. If that is decided by the previous karma, you are believing in predeterminism. If you believe in predeterminism, there's no room for free will. If there's no free will, then whether somebody does good thing or bad thing, you cannot blame that person. Because it's determined by the previous things. No, what I do, I stole it, not because of me, because of my previous karma. Right? So you blame so therefore, there is no accountability for, somebody doing good, bad, or whatever. So where is free will? Right? If you give me that answer, I'll become Buddhist right away. She was dumbfounded. She did not have any answer to this. Instantly, I have a great teacher, right? In her mind, I have a great teacher who was incredibly great teacher, the giants of the Buddhist philosophy logic, they see him as the king. She is very fortunate to have that as a teacher. He passed away already. I also happen to have the honor of having received teachings from him. And he was, of course, one of the Geshe colleagues of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And later on, say in his last days, His Holiness received teachings from him also. Okay, so his Venerable Jesuit Temba Tenzin Rinpoche. So Oh, I have a great teacher there. He will give the answer. Although I don't know the answer, but he says answer. So instantly she wrote an email to the teacher. Right? And the email, my teacher did not read any emails, so I had to do it. So I got the email. Right? So I was the translator. So she wrote the email from America. So I was in South India with my teacher there. And then I read the email. Oh, a very complicated question, right? I'm also eager to learn this. So she's asking the question, not to me, to the teacher. So I took this, I printed the email, her email, and I took it to my teacher. And with great excitement, I read this email to him, expecting a reply from him. But what reply did I get from him? Huh? Guess. He listened to me very carefully to this question. I was translating to Tibetan from English. He got it. He said, Dorji, give some answer. Dorji, just write something. Write something. Right? Okay. So this is what made me to, so I had to give some answer because that should represent. It should not be embarrassment to my teacher, right? It should represent my teacher's the philosophical skills. So I was thinking about this. So this is a great benefit for me to reflect, to go into this journey of reflection, to resolve this problem, a clash between free will versus predeterminism. Okay. So any more questions? Yash? Namsal, you have a question? Okay, Yash.
Venerable, I just want to ask that.
But make sure the question is small, the question is short.
So, what is the connotation for the word self and self-centered attitude?
Say it again. What is the
Connotation for self?
Okay, what is self and what is self-centered attitude? This is what it's saying. Okay, self is the person. We call it I. This self exists. In Buddhism, many of the people who claim themselves to be Buddhist scholars, right? They said in Buddhism there is no self. This is not a good idea. This is actually wrong interpretation, wrong concept. The self does exist. Everything exists. Self exists. But the self does not exist objectively. Self exists subjectively. Self does exist. Now the self is for example, saying self is like the book, and the self-centered attitude is like is a part of the mind, which means the book has so many pages. So many pages is one of the pages. Self-centered attitude is small part of my hand is a part of me. Self-centered attitude is a part of the mind, which in turn is a part of this self.
Is anger and aggression the same thing?
Okay, anger and aggression, are these two the same? This is a good question. Okay. Anger is a purely mental expression. Aggression is a mental and physical expression. Aggression is the expression, the physical and verbal expression of the anger inside. You're getting it? Aggression is the physical and verbal expression of the anger inside. So anger is the driving force for the aggression. Anger is the cause and aggression is the effect. Okay, yes, Badriji?
In one of your previous classes, you mentioned that intention equals free will, and therefore Buddhism believes in free will.
Okay, good question.
And my question was that does intention depend on habitual tendencies, and therefore is it not subject to previous karma?
Okay, so the full answer will be given only if I give the answer to how to reconcile these two things, predeterminism versus free will. So this part, what Badriji said, that intention that we have, that is the basis for explaining free will. Don't forget it. It is, these two don't equal. These two are not synonymous. But the free will, intention that we have is the basis for explaining free will. Free will can be accounted for on the basis of the intention inside. Intention. Yes. Okay. Done. Okay, now quick television prayer. Page 278. Page 278. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All-powerful channel is the Tenzin Gyatso. Please remain until samsara ends. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samadabhadra too realize things as they are, also I dedicate all these merits in the best way that I may follow their perfect example. I dedicate all these roots of virtue with the dedication praised as the best by the victorious ones thus gone after 3 times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. May the Supreme Bodhicitta that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which is arisen not diminish but increase forevermore. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of Guru Buddha and lead all beings without exception into that enlightened state. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization that these and the prayers of all the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas of the 3 times, and to the upholding of Dharma of teaching and realization. May I in all lives, through the forth of the Spirit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect with the 2 stages. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generally mark a full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. The path of union of emptiness and compassion is lucidly explained by the portent of Buddha, Dharma, and the beings of Snowland. With the lotus of the Tenzin Gyatso, we supplicate you that your wishes are fulfilled spontaneously. May the operations of evil thoughts and deeds of the negative forces of humans or non-humans who help our merits through perverted prayers against the teachings of the Buddhas be totally vanquished through the power of the truth of the 3 jewels. In all my lives, never separated from perfect gurus, I enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of the stations and the paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the Manjushri and be able to uphold the Dharma in general and the teachings on dependent origination in particular, even in the course of my life. Okay, so very closely to the free will, finally the Buddha's teaching. Buddha's teaching, we see that because of the free will, Buddha came on this earth expecting people to transform by using this free will, transform. And with the free will for what? Free will to engage in virtues, free will to engage in non-virtues. So of the 2, Buddha came on this earth to teach us how to use this free will to engage in the virtues. What virtues? Virtues, Buddha made it very simple. Finally, the benchmark of what a virtue is that your action, if grounded on compassion, that is virtue. Grounded in compassion. So any act of compassion, say for example, some people go for, say, vegetarianism, Some people go for, say, the helping the people in the hospices. Some people go for, say, working on environment, ecology, and so forth. Any act of compassion with a feeling that somebody is hurt, I should be there to help. So with this thought, whatever action that you go for is virtuous. So the benchmark for us to talk with the free will, and then with the free will to finally to benefit yourself and to benefit others. Finally, what decides is whether or not you have this compassion. If the compassion is there as the ground, finally we see that you are happy, and people around you, you are happy, and everybody connected with you become happy. So this is a benchmark. After all learning all this karma and so forth, if you're able to gain conviction in the need for us to engage in a compassionate way, that is the purpose of our life. Okay, we'll stop here. Good night.